Take a look at this, guys. It's the Proton eMAS 7, our national car maker's very first electric model that has finally been launched here in Malaysia. So let's take a closer look. What's good, what's bad, and what are my first impressions on this new model. Let's go. First things first, no surprises, it looks exactly the same. It looks identical to the Geely Galaxy E5. There are, however, a few odd things here as well. The model in China would have a few embedded lighting around the front to make it look like it has a bit of a grille, somewhat like a mustache. But over here, it's completely blanked out, so it looks a bit empty. I've been told all export markets, including Proton, would not have this feature. It's the same story with the corner elements as well, whereas in China they would light up. Here, they're just left completely blank. It's a bit weird. However, with the sharp, slim lights, it still looks very modern and sporty. If you look really closely at the headlamps, however, you'll notice that it doesn't carry any Proton or Geely branding. It's just been left blank. And if you look at the windscreen, this still has the landmark of Hangzhou, Geely's headquarters back in China. This supposedly being a Malaysian EV, I would have expected, KLCC, KL Tower, or something to make it look more Malaysian. In terms of size, the eMAS 7 is a full-fledged C-segment SUV. It's larger than the BYD Atto 3 in pretty much all dimensions. It's longer, taller, and even the wheelbase is longer as well. This, even though it doesn't look like it, it's actually bigger than Proton's own X70. As for equipment, it gets these stylish hidden pop-out door handles, the first for Proton, and a choice of two different alloy wheel designs, 18s for the Prime and 19s for the Premium. From the back, this full-width light bar does give it a bit of a Porsche vibe. While I think it looks handsome overall, I don't think it looks quite as sporty as it does from the front. And I don't know if it's just me, I think this eMAS 7 logo is slightly too big. Do you agree or disagree with me on this? Do let me know in the comments below. Inside, it has a pretty modern and premium cabin as well. The center screen, as expected, is massive at over 15 inches, and it's also ultra high res at 2.5K. This uses a state-of-the-art 7nm chip, and it's supposed to be one of the best in the class, with double the amount of RAM, double the amount of storage compared to what's available on the BYD Atto 3, for instance. It has most of the basics right as well. The 360-degree camera is pin sharp, and this also has a fully integrated charging map within the screen. This shows up to 85% of all the charges available in Malaysia within the screen over here, so you can navigate to it, you can see if the charges are occupied or not, and that is a massive advantage that this has over most other EVs in Malaysia. But having said that, at launch, this car will not have either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. For that, you'll have to wait for an OTA update, perhaps 6 months down the road or even more. As for interior colors, there is just a single option, which is indigo blue, as Proton calls it. But to my eyes, it looks just plain black. The nicer, more premium looking light cream color we've seen before is not available for customers because Proton says most of its customers just prefer plain black like this. Again, I don't really agree with that statement. In terms of equipment, it's pretty impressive as well, especially if you go for the more expensive Premium. That gets a full color HUD, a first for Proton, and a 16-speaker Flyme 1000 watt audio system. This even has eMAS, which is basically China's version of Dolby Atmos, and you even get speakers within the front headrest. That's pretty cool. Back here, the space, as you can see, is absolutely humongous. I can't even reach the front seats from where I'm seated. Even the backrest, you can recline it quite far back, and the floor is completely flat. And even better still, you don't feel like the floor is too high like you do in most other EVs. This is really, really nice. Compared to China's E5, we also lose out on two crucial items. Proton does not get the front center airbag, and the front passenger seat also does not have the adjustable leg support. The boot does look pretty impressive. You can adjust the floor to fit in taller items, and according to Proton, if you lift up the floor completely, there is a big hole where you can fit a golf bag standing up. That's pretty cool. But what I don't like is that it doesn't have any form of a tonneau cover. So once you close the boot, anyone will be able to see what you have in your car. On to range, and it gets slightly less impressive, at least on paper. With the Prime version with a slightly smaller battery, it has a range of 345 kilometers only, while the Premium version with the uprated battery can go up to 410 kilometers on a single charge. However, both of these figures are WLTP numbers, so they are much more believable, far closer to what you'll actually get in the real world. Plus, the eMAS 7 also has an 11 kilowatt AC onboard charger, which is a massive advantage over the BYD Atto 3 7 kilowatt item. In terms of performance, this car is front-wheel drive and it can go from 0 to 100 in just 6.9 seconds. You are looking at the fastest accelerating Proton car ever made. However though, having driven this car on the test track, I don't really think it feels that quick. Under 7 seconds. I'm sure it's actually that fast against the clock, but from the seat of your pants, it doesn't really feel all that fast, at least for me. Its saving grace is that this really does have Proton's famed ride and handling package. This feels far more stable, less bouncy, less floaty than most of its competition coming from China, and having spoken to Geely engineers, they will actually use Proton's setup for international markets as well. So in terms of ride and handling, Proton is still one of the best in the world. But most important of all, of course, is the price. The eMAS 7 Prime starts from just under 106,000 ringgit, while the top spec Premium is just below 120,000 ringgit. The prices include a special 4,000 ringgit rebate for the first 3,000 customers, but these are for the CBU models of the eMAS 7. Hopefully, when it comes to CKD next year, it will be even more affordable. So there you go guys, the new Proton eMAS 7. What do you think of the car's looks and specs? And most importantly, do you think they are affordable enough for the mass Malaysians? Do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone, and stay safe.